Okay, now we're down to what I think many would call the final sanding process. So basically I cut up some sandpaper. This is going to be 600 grit, by the way. I only cut up some parts because, well, you know, with all these particular areas, you can understand why. Well, this is what they call a wet sanding method. I've never tried this before, so I'm kind of curious as to see how this is going to go. I guess I'll start with the big guy here. First, I'll start with grooves like this. And once again, I'm not going to focus on the mouth because, once again, that is way too perfect. So I don't want to mess with that. And I better grab a shorter one for that. There we go. Okay. And just the idea is to just dip a little water on it and just sand. Because of this, I'm going to go a little careful at this, you know, because, well, you can guess why. I mean, I don't know why I need to feel like I need to tell you all that, because, you know, you can see what's going on here. And yeah, so, hey. That's the problem when you have kitties here. They always get into things. Back off, putty tat. Okay, look at that level. A little bit of this. I'm going rather lightly, by the way, because I don't want to dig in too much on this. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I don't know how this is going to go. Okay, let's work on a different spot here. I got that part where I want it, I think. Okay, like that. Now, up on the tusks. I'm going to use the circular motion like I've been doing. Let me scoot this stuff to the side. It's in the way. There we go. Much better. Okay. For the edges of the tusks, I'm going to go a little bit like this because, well, you could probably guess why. It's not easy trying to get an area like that when it's such a thin, well, point. I mean, it's not really a point, but it might as well be. And sometimes that's really the only way you can do it. I mean, sure, going in circles is the best way, and I have been doing that, as you can tell, but sometimes you just have to say, I can't do it. So, okay. That is really feeling smooth. Okay. And yeah, there's going to be a little, what feels like hair or shavings, you know. That's just the way it goes, I'm sure. I mean, that's what I've had so far when I've been sanding. Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's going to be some of that kind of hair-like residue coming off. I'm going to work on the trunk a little. Okay. A little bit there. A little bit there. Being ambidextrous can help a little, but it's not foolproof, let's say, because, you know, I'm more right-handed than left-handed. But I can use my left hand for a lot of things. I do it all the time. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I guess I'm just creating a little conversation. Okay. Just a little around the eye there. I'm going to just do a little dab on the eye because I don't want to push this too far. Ooh, almost forgot the inner part. Hope you could see this. There we go. And right here as well. A little bit of that. Okay. All right. Now, I think we're ready for a bigger piece. Let's go for this guy here. Okay. A little bit on the chin here. Boy, this is some pretty powerful stuff. I mean, look at that. It's almost like creating a slurry here. Ooh, wow. Seriously. I know I'll have to wipe this stuff off. I'll probably hose it off, then wipe it off. That way I can make sure I get it all, you know. Because it is taking off some of the primer. Because, you know, I did add an extra layer. Maybe that was a good idea, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But, you know, it was worth a shot. You know, part of the reason why I'm dipping this is to get some of that off, you know. Because you don't want that to stick around on there. It could really mess everything up for when we get to the paint job. Oh, and by the way, I don't know when I'm going to get to that yet because it's been pretty cold over here for a while. And the only place I could do it, as you saw with the primer paint and the Bondo, is in my garage. And if it's so cold, you're going to have a hard time painting. So it might be a little bit before I get there, okay? So don't expect anything too soon. But I think when we get to it, it's going to be a blast because, you know, I love painting. And just a heads up on top, while I got that on the subject, I haven't found the right kind of yellow for the eyes just yet, but I am working at it. And I'm sure I'll find what I'm looking for. I mean, I just need to shop around, as the old story goes, because, you know, that's the best way to do it. Ooh. You know, I almost forgot something here. Let's use this one. I'm gonna grab this right here. There we go. All right. Yeah, it's looking better already. Okay. Now let's do another dip, 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 dip. We'll go to the back of the head. Like I said, I've never done this before because I didn't even know there was such a thing as wet sanding until I started researching this project. So, you know, let that be a lesson to everybody. There is such a thing as wet sanding, and it can be done. I wouldn't be surprised if you could do this with different grits of sandpaper, but for this particular project, 600 is the way to go. Oh, and in case you're wondering about supplies like this, you can find them at any hardware store. In fact, you could go to like Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards even. That's where I got mine. And you can find them. You just have to look in the sandpaper aisle, you know, and you'll find them. Okay, it's looking good already. All right, now I'm going to wipe this stuff off. All right. I may have to hose it off again. In fact, I'm probably gonna. And it's all right, you know, because you want it to be perfect, right? So, let me get the excess off of there. And let's see, let's work on this a little. Yeah, see some of the gray there? That's because of my sanding. So I'm going to work at this a little more. And I grab my other paper towel here. I'm probably not going to get it all off right here because, don't forget, I've been working at that. I've been sanding all around and trying to be careful, get a lot of area here. But what do you expect? I mean, it's all right. If you want something done right, you got to go careful about it. And I can tell you this right now, folks. I'm just wiping the stuff off, and it feels smooth because it's gliding off like butter. Now, it may not look like it the way I'm doing, but it sure feels like it. You'll have to take my word for that. Ooh, wow, 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 wow. Seriously, I cannot believe how smooth that feels. Looks like I missed a spot there. Okay. Well, no worries, no worries. That's what we're here for. We're bound to miss a spot. So, check over here. Yeah, just as I thought. Okay. Well, don't worry, folks. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to get this done right. There may be some areas that it might be impossible to do. I don't know for sure, but, you know, it's always a good idea to just keep trying. So, got to get in that inner mouth part. Like I said, I didn't fiddle with the mouth because, one, it feels fine already, and I'm still worried that if I do anything to that mouth, I might scratch it or something. And, you know, the mouth, I could never do anything like that if I tried, so I'm not going to fiddle with that. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing at all. Oh, much better. Much better. Yeah? Much better. You know, I may not really need to do this, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway just in case. Okay, now I got this all hosed off, and it feels so buttery smooth. It's unbelievable. Now, I dried off the water, and I'm just going to take a paper towel to this, get more off if there's any residue left over. I felt a little, and, you know, that was just bound to happen because, let's get real, we did some sanding, and 600 grit is very fine sanding. And that's the point of it, isn't it? Just to make it real fine, and, oh, wow, I am not kidding. That feels wonderful. I am not kidding. That you know, it's so smooth. I can't even describe it. I'm not kidding. It's that perfect. Nothing. No edges, no nothing. I love it. Let's work at this. Okay. I'm just going to dust the mouth off too, just in case. You know, some of that could have landed on there. It's always possible. Don't ever forget that possibility. Just because I didn't stand there doesn't mean it didn't land there. And you know, hang on a minute. Let's look at that a little more. There we go. Yeah. Now, some bits kind of got crammed in there, so you see that proves my point that, you know, just because you didn't stand there doesn't mean you didn't get any accumulation in there. You definitely want to keep that in mind. Yeah, that's looking great. I love it. I really do. I love it. Even better than I was hoping for. Yeah, listen to that. Now that's what you call a smooth edge right there. Ooh, I love it. Man, that is unbelievable. It feels like like it's all one piece. No trouble at all. I love it. All right. Do a little bit more there. I want to. And, all right. We are sitting very pretty here. Yeah, perfect. All right. So, next time when I get some good weather in my area, we will start painting. Until then, this is Movie Fan, signing off.